Let's talk about customer service. A number of years ago, one of my clients, Chuck Ferguson of Ferguson Turf and Lawn Supply, was sitting in his office one hot, humid afternoon in July. It was a Friday. The telephone rang. On the other end of the line was Barney, the manager from the Mackinac Island Golf Course. The conversation went something like this. "Hello, Chuck. This is Barney up here at the Mackinac Island Golf Course. We've got a real problem on our hands. Our one and only Jacobson's greens mower is broken down, and it couldn't have happened at a worse time. We've got one of our biggest tournaments of the year taking place tomorrow morning, and by golly, those greens just have to be mowed at 5:30 a.m. Well, Chuck's response was, "Well, Barney, can you do me a favor?" Barney said, "What's that?" Chuck thought, "Barney, I'm thinking out loud now, but Mackinac City is a good 4 hours ride by truck from our shop here in Traverse City. Not to mention the ferry boat ride across to the island. That's going to take some time to get up there. I have access to our family airplane. What I could do is get one of my best mechanics. We could load up the parts that we need for that disabled mower, and we could probably be up there in about an hour and a half. But you'd have to be able to get that disabled mower hauled over to the airport that's on the island." Now, what he meant by being hauled over there is there are no motorized vehicles allowed on Mackinac Island other than one ambulance, one fire truck, and the small aircraft that can fly in and off the island. So they would literally have to haul the disabled mower on a horse-drawn wagon over to the airport and have to get there in 90 minutes. Barney said he could, so with that, Chuck hung up the phone, quickly called down to his top mechanic to see if he wanted to put in a little extra overtime for the weekend. He agreed, and as Chuck went to get the family airplane ready, he observed, he said, wow, if I took out the back two seats of this airplane, there's enough space with the cargo space, we could actually load up a brand new Jacobson's greens mower. We could lend it to Barney so he could use it as a backup just in case anything else went wrong with the mower we're going to repair. So they did. Finally got the mower on the plane, they took off, they finally landed at the Mackinac Island Airport. There was Barney and his two maintenance men and the disabled mower. As Chuck stepped down off the airplane with his mechanic, who was impeccably dressed in a clean blue uniform and a shiny steel toolbox in hand, talk about looking like a professional, Barney breathed a sigh of relief. Help had arrived. Well, as the mechanic went to work on the disabled mower, Chuck started having a conversation with Barney and explained to him he had a little surprise for him, and that is this beautiful, brand new Jacobson's greens mower that he was going to lend him for the weekend so they could use as a backup, but also use right along with the other mower so they get the work done twice as fast. They'd get the mower the next time they were in there when they had a truck out there. So Barney was excited about that. Well, the disabled mower was repaired in a few minutes. They unloaded the brand new Jacobson's greens mower as well, and Chuck and his mechanic got back on the airplane and flew on back to Traverse City to enjoy what was left of the weekend. Well, the next morning the greens were mowed at 5:30 a.m. The golf course looked fantastic. The tournament went on without a hitch, and of course Barney was a hero. And that didn't end there. On Monday morning, Chuck receives a phone call in his office. Who do you suppose is on the other end of the line? Barney. Yeah, what does Barney want? He wants to buy the brand new Jacobson's greens mower that was lent to him. Chuck replies, "Oh no, Barney, that's not the reason we brought the mower out there. We just want to lend it to you and make sure the tournament went on very well." Barney wouldn't hear anything about it. He says, "Chuck, we've been looking to buy a mower like this. We've talked about it. We know it's a sizable investment. It's about $50,000, but we couldn't think of a better company to buy it from." Well, Chuck said, "Okay, we'll send you the paperwork." The story doesn't end there. About 3 months later at Michigan State University, that was the site of the annual Turf Grass Convention, Chuck was with a couple of his maintenance people, some of his family members. They're sitting around the table. They're just finishing their banquet dinner. From across the room, one of Chuck's fiercest competitors is staring at him, glaring at him. It's a very competitive business. After a few uneasy moments of this person walks across the banquet room floor over to Chuck's table and waves a finger in Chuck's face. Apparently he had been drinking. And he says something like this. He says, "Ferguson, I don't know how you do it, I don't know how you get that Mackinac Golf Club account. We've been calling those guys for the last 5 years, and every time we're up there, we bring them the best scotch. We buy them the best steaks. And we have yet to get any of their business. We don't know what you're doing. But we tried everything. Well, Chuck just took this all in, kind of stroked his chin, looked up at him and said, you know, Leonard, I don't know. It sounds like you're doing everything right. I wouldn't change a thing. You see, Chuck Ferguson knew the meaning of real service, and that he wasn't running a 50-yard dash with his business. He was running a marathon, which meant that he was going to service that client when that client needed that help, and to fix what they needed fixing, but then go a little bit further, go the extra couple yards to make that service call a well-rounded service call. So, my advice to all of you is if you can take some of these ideas, put them to work in your business, your customers are going to be around for a long, long, long time.